Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. Today's video, we're going to talk about EMPs and how to make any vehicle EMP proof in about 5 minutes. So we'll jump into that. I'll link it down below, like in a little, I'll put a little timestamp down here. But before that, I'm starting this thing on the channel called Gear Tuesdays. Maybe that's what I'm gonna call it. If you can think of a better name, drop it down below. But I'm shooting for every Tuesday, I'm gonna release a gear-centric video. Whether that's one piece of gear or multiple pieces of gear or little stuff or big stuff or comparing a bunch of like items or whatever, maybe a new product release or just something I'm interested in. I'm gonna shove all those into videos on Tuesdays. So once a week, ideally, you can look for a gear-related video from me because I love gear and I think a lot of you guys do too. So that'll free up another video a week, hopefully, for adventure or interesting, cool stuff outside of gear. So today's Tuesday when I'm releasing this video and it's about gear. All right, so let's start from the beginning. What is an EMP and should you care? EMP stands for Electromagnetic Pulse. And if you know me, if you follow me, you know I'm a bit of a survivalist. I like to be prepared for what might come my way. Some might call that a prepper, but I don't really identify myself as a prepper necessarily. But if you do, I'm sure you know all about EMPs. EMPs, let's talk about kind of what they are. We're not going to get very scientific at all, but it's a pulse that's caused by stuff that we'll get into in a second that basically radiates out and has the potential to knock out a bunch of electrical equipment. Could knock out your modern day vehicles, could knock out your cell phone, the entire grid. Now there's some devices that I found out about somewhat recently that can protect your modern day vehicle and can protect your entire home and your ham radio setup and all kinds of stuff, your solar array. So cool stuff. We'll get into that in a second. But an EMP, how would it happen, I guess? So could happen from a terrorist, could happen from a global war. But the most likely scenario is somebody shoots a nuke, not at the ground, but into the atmosphere, and it detonates in the atmosphere, and this causes an electromagnetic pulse. I've heard something like 3 strategically placed nukes can wipe out like the entire electrical system for the entire continental US, which is kind of crazy to me. Will it happen? Who knows? Can it happen? It absolutely can happen. So do you want to be prepared for it? I don't know. That's up to you. A lot of people buy like old vehicles, pre-ECU vehicles, like carbureted, no computer, and that's their EMP vehicle. They go out and they buy a vehicle just to be EMP proofed, which is cool. I haven't done it myself, but now I do have EMP proofed vehicles. And again, we'll get into it in a second. So terrorist attack, global war, EMP, it could happen. These devices protect against that. They protect against electric strikes, and then they protect against CMEs, or coronal mass ejections, caused by solar flares. And again, without getting too technical, there's storms on the surface of the sun. And sometimes they get a little big, they shoot out a little flare, and they're directional. They kind of shoot that way and shoot that way, and these pulses are missing us all the time. Back in the 1800s, the Carrington Event happened, which was the largest one that we know about kind of in modern history, and it wiped out all kinds of things. Carrington Event, Google it if you want to find out more. There was another one that missed us by like 9 days in our orbit, but theoretically would have just like set us back to the Stone Age because it was a massive one. So these things can happen from man-made nukes, terrorists, war, that kind of stuff, but also natural events like the sun. And it's pretty unpredictable when these things will happen. I think we'll know like a few minutes before we get hit by like a massive one on Earth, but a few minutes probably isn't enough time unless you have one of these like in your garage and you just forgot to install it. And you're like, I'm gonna go install it right now. I have 2 minutes, start the timer. And you could probably do it. What happens, sorry, this is kind of long-winded. What happens is it basically fries a bunch of electronic components. This product, an EMP shield, can hook up in like 5 minutes. There's 3 wires to plug in. Anybody can do it. So this is basically it. It's a box, does some stuff, has this 3M Velcro tape on the back so you can stick it wherever. Also has some screw holes. And there's just 3 cables. You hook it to your positive and negative battery terminals, and then the green one goes to a ground on your vehicle chassis. Very easy to hook up. Can be done in a matter of minutes. And here is mine installed in my Tacoma. Not a whole lot to look at. The house units are a little bit more involved, but they come with all kinds of instructions and everything. So you're like, okay, what is this device? How's it work? Yada, yada, yada. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an electrical engineer. I don't know. I talked to the guys on the phone for like an hour. I had a bunch of questions. They answer them all. They have a bunch of stuff on their website. Again, I'll link it down below. I have a coupon code as well. LLOD will save you $50 off. But I'll link it down below. And they have a bunch of public military testings that they've done, like a dozen military testings, and it's on like the Homeland Security list and all this stuff. It's like a legit product. It's not some little thing you plug in and it does nothing. All right, so how's this device work? You can kind of think of it as like a very advanced surge protector, sort of, and that's why it is effective against lightning strikes and stuff like that as well. But basically, an EMP happens and it's sending all of this current and it's looking for where it can go, and it hits your vehicle and it just like, and it fries everything, right? Again, we're not getting very scientific. This device hooks into your electrical system, both in your house or in your vehicle, depending on which one you get, hooks up and is grounded to your chassis is one of the components. So basically when it senses all of this current coming in, it says, well, we need to do something with it before it fries the whole system, and it shunts it, and it happens in like a nanosecond. I think every 500 trillionth of a second or something crazy. So it takes this current and sends it to the frame, and it does it over and over and over and over and over and over again in a very small period of time. So it takes this big current and then it kind of cuts it down into manageable pieces by basically grounding it. Same thing happens in the home device, except it doesn't ground it into the chassis of your home, it grounds it into the actual literal ground. And so it's taking all this big thing that would normally jack up your whole system and dealing with it by sending it into the vehicle frame. And it's safe, it's not gonna electrocute you and kill you or anything like that. And it has a warranty and all that kind of stuff. Again, check the website for more info. I just thought this was a very, very, very interesting product. For someone like me who, like, my preps are pretty squared away, you know, I'm pretty squared away on food and resources and weapons and a plan and all that stuff. But the hole that I always had in my preparedness was against an EMP. And I said, well, if an EMP happens, I know how to make fire. I have a bunch of lighters. I have a bunch of food. I'll survive longer than most people, and I'll just make do without a vehicle or without my electronics and stuff like that. That age is no longer. Now, if you want a vehicle after an EMP, all you got to do is install this product, 5 minutes, and then you have peace of mind. So, is it worth it? Will an EMP attack happen? Will coronal mass ejection happen? Who knows? I can't say. So for me, it's kind of just insurance. It's kind of peace of mind. I know that if I drive my EMP-proof vehicle out and about, then an EMP happens, I'll probably be able to make it home, especially in like a lifted truck that I can, you know, go off the road and make it. So for me, it's peace of mind, and it's checking off that box that I used to have like unchecked in my preparedness portfolio, I guess. Anyway, cool product because it pertains to vehicles, overland type vehicles, which you guys are probably into, as well as preparedness, and it's just a cool gear item. It's not one that you're gonna play with a whole lot, but once it's installed, you'll feel really good. And the best part is nobody knows that this vehicle is EMP proof except for all of YouTube. Now you guys know that my truck is EMP proof, but that's fine. It is what it is, because I trust that after this video there will be a bunch more vehicles that are EMP proof as well. We're not gonna get too into like what happens after an EMP strike, but obviously be a gray man, keep your visibility low. If there's not a whole lot of working vehicles out there, which again, who knows what's gonna happen really if an EMP goes off? How many vehicles will still be running on the road that aren't EMP proof? Who knows? Maybe a bunch, maybe none. So be smart in the end of the world. If you're the only one in town with a running vehicle, you know, probably lay low for a while and use your vehicle very strategically. Okay, I think that's it. Anyway, again, this was Gear Tuesday. Links down below. Click them. That's helped support the channel. Always appreciate it. I have a bunch of coupon codes, actually, LLOD.us/coupons. Go there. All the coupons you could ever want. But Gear Tuesday. So I have a ton of gear. You guys know this. And I have a ton of videos to make about a ton of gear. But always, 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 I ask you guys to comment down below. Let me know what kind of stuff you want to see videos about, specific gear comparisons, you're excited about some new product that you heard is going to be announced in the future, and you would love me to get my hands on it as soon as possible so that way you know whether it's a good buy for you. Comment down below, ask it, let me know. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it, guys. So until next time, take care.